Hello guys, welcome back or welcome if you're new. It's Christian from Emotions in Wine. Fifth chapter of Croatia 2025 trip, the last one. Here is the north of Dalmatia near Primošten. Actually this is in between Primošten and Šibenik. It's a wonderful landscape. Even here you have small islets you can see on the back. And this is the view from the top hill of Primošten. Here we enjoyed a bit the landscapes, the small town, this wonderful peninsula, and we of course wanted to see the vineyards of Babić in particular, but there are several other wines. This is a very good wine shop near Šibenik, so a bit further. They have a great choice from whole Croatia, but in particular from their area. You can see Ante Slavić is this winery, which is a bit inner in the area. Šibenik-Knin is called the region, and this is one of the most up-and-coming wineries at the moment. As hinted, in this region they make Babić as the main red grape, but there are several others, mostly indigenous varieties, but of course some also found in other parts of the country or some international grapes, but majority are local. We will see later more in detail. Let's start to talk about Babić. So the second most important red grape nowadays in Croatia is related to Plavasmali by DNA, but is a bit different style, is a bit more elegant and lighter, especially nowadays with the new winemaking. The maceration shorter, so has a bit less power, also the color. This is near Primošten, the most famous in whole Croatia location where the vineyards of Babić are. This is something protected by UNESCO, unbelievable. You see this small bay, this peninsula, really on the sea. The vineyards are bush, so alberello, very spare, very old, very low. Is also windy this day, but often is very rocky, very little soil on top, and in many cases there are these small dry walls, you see, very low, surrounding. I like to protect a bit the plants. They are very spare. The plantation per hectare is very low. Some plants are a bit younger, as you can see, but majority are old. So it's really something unbelievable. I've never seen in my life anywhere something like this. It's a small acreage, so the production here is very little, and the yield per plant is ridiculous, as you can imagine, even very dry and hot. So it's really something special. So when you taste the wine, you need to think also about this, the experience that it gives, the emotions that it gives, thinking about what is behind the wine. Talking about the wineries, this is the biggest issue. Besides being very spread the region, even Primošten area for the Babić is quite spread around, and then the whole region much more with the other wineries with different grapes. But majority of the wineries are still very tiny, disorganized, even not open. They are not able to do hospitality. Only a few, like Slavić, I mentioned before, Babić, which is the top one in this. I think they built a sort of villas for welcoming the customers. So, but very few. So it's still, and most of the wineries make 5, 10, 20,000 bottles. One of the few exceptions is this one, Pergin. We found it open, is not too far, but even not too close to Primošten. Not too small, they have several wines. They do even a couple of whites from purchased grapes. Even the debit, one of the grapes we will talk later, quite nice. And they have a bit of range of Babić. They are one of the few wineries with the grapes in that crazy location we saw before. And they have also some back vintages. In fact, we were checking there in the bar, and we tried only one, the regular version, but they have more expensive back vintage, so very interesting. Very Pinot Noirish in the style they made. Is more gentle itself compared to Plavasmali, the grape, but Indeed, this the owner is a lady, I think, with I don't remember if the partner or a friend, so maybe even a female touch. So interesting winery. Also to visit, they, as you see in the garden, they do some live music parties in the season, and but they are not that close to Primošten. It's quite far up on the hills.
Any story behind with this logo?
It's the family nickname.
So only one visit, unfortunately, in the area there was not anything else open. Finally, in Primošten, approaching the peninsula, so there is the newer part in there, and on the peninsula is the old town as was built in the old days. You see there is the wall there with the entrance. Of course, on the sides is open. So it's this tiny peninsula, all the houses mostly remade with small lanes, walkable uphill because there is a bit of uphill, the top where there is the church, and you have a lot of nice cafe, restaurants, and bars on the two sides on the shore, and something even in between, but some small shops. Leo Grazin, so the most famous Babić producer, has a shop, wine bar shop in the middle. We passed by, we didn't take any image. It's a simple place, but it was nice also to try something and to have a chat with them. Of course, there is not himself, just staff, but it was an interesting stop. And then we went for dinner, of course. There are several nice restaurants, all seafood, or mostly, some meat also. And of course, you have casual places also. So, very nice place, a bit more crowded as Korčula town, expected, but special and worth a visit. So, guys, here we are. Final conclusions about this chapter of the trip, and then total trip last comments. So Babić, as seen, is the most important red grape there. We will have a tasting. We tried only Pergin, the winery we visited quickly. We stayed there only one night because it was exploring mode also. Grazin is the godfather in a way of Babić. We saw the wine shop, wine bar in the center, as you said, but you cannot visit the winery. So in the end, it's good. I bought between there and in the shop near Šibenik, few other samples. This is the most unknown. This is Birin, which is a student, former student of Grazin, so should be a young, interesting. So I will decide if to do 3 or 4, let's see. So one of the next weeks there will be the tasting of Babić to go more in depth about that with the little information that we can find. The other grapes mentioned the Debit white, nothing to do with Paga Debit, which is a nickname, by the way, of the Italian in Romagna. Is the two different, because debit really means paying the debts. So that is the origin, probably both in Italy and in Croatia, but different wines. Quite easy, quite interesting. From Pergin was a nice one. Then Marastina is the other main white. Then, of course, they have a bit of poship. So there are a couple of bigger wineries also, but majority are this tiny. Some poship they make is a bit different, but may become interesting in future. Marastina is the same as Rukatats in the south of Dalmatia, with some Pelješac in particular. Why they have two names, I don't know, strange because it's a relatively small country, but that's it. So Marastina we tried very little, not that many making. Ante Sladic, the winery I showed in the shop, we tried something. This is the Lassina, which is a local variety, getting a bit more attention. They are one of the 2-3 main producers of it. Is really reminding of Pinot Noir, that one. The similar body structure, light color, touch of spicy, of course, a bit different profile of aromas and flavors, but that kind of style. Interesting, is affordable. Usually this is 23, so quite young, but was very nice. we tried still in Croatia. And then Plavina is the other grape, local, which is also related to Plavasmali and Babić genetically. Actually, if I well remember, is still son of Tribidrag, so the Primitivo grape, but it's quite different from Plavasmali. Plavasmali and Babić have quite common points, but Babić is a bit more elegant and delicate. But this Plavina is a bit different, is a bit herbaceous, so a bit more straightforward, I would say. We try only one, I think. So another grape anyway. So they have quite a few. Then plus, of course, a bit of Syrah, a bit of international usual grapes. Anyway, a region that can become interesting soon. I hope you enjoyed even this shorter video. We stayed only one night, so we didn't have too many things to show and to talk about. So final conclusions about the trip. Very successful. We are very happy of it. Was even a bit diverse, moving, of course stressful because we stayed less than 2 weeks, but we saw many different places. We met incredible people, very genuine. We discovered some new wines, especially in this part, but also some more Gurke and Boschip that we didn't know before. And we get to become a bit friends with a couple of guys, Beer in particular, after the second time we met and then the long visit, etc. So quite emotional indeed. We had great pleasure with some bottles, incredible. Missing was Krajancic, as I said already, the godfather of Boschip, but he is not open at all. So you need to get really connected to him to be able to do a visit. But as promised, I will do a video about a couple of his wines, so specific winery with the information I have, because the website is not saying much, but that is something I owe him. I think I mentioned already before in another video. So great experience even this year. More than properly done the report with the videos, the tastings. We tasted a lot of things. So for sure, next year we don't plan at all to go to Corčula. That is a certainty. We hopefully can go somewhere else. We will see. But the result of this trip is very good. Also, I see good response from you guys. Some videos got already quite a bit of views. Good participation also in some cases. So we are quite happy. I hope you can support us more, share with your friends, subscribe if you didn't yet, like of course as usual, and see you next time. As hinted, there will be different videos in this phase, so I hope to keep you curious enough. Salute!